What I loved about tonight is that number one, you took a risk.
Yeah, she definitely took a big risk. This is definitely not one of those things that I think anyone, including all her fans, who've been sharing like, she's going to see this or this or this, no one picked this.
No one sees this
coming. No one saw this coming.
It's America's Got Talent reaction time!
It's the champions!
So goodbye, yellow brick road, where the dogs of society howl.
My concern is this, right? It's a pretty big concern. This competition is different than the typical one where you have the audience that votes, right? Mm-hmm. Because the audience that votes in that type of scenario, you can kind of predict what they're likely going to vote for, because it is a particular slice of demographics, right? Between about 28 years old to about 48 years old, and typically watch TV, which I think that if you were to see something like Elton John, boom, they would get it. The problem is, it's the super fans, and nobody knows who these super fans are. Supposedly they're from all 50 states, a real diverse group of people, but the problem is we don't know if it's younger or older, and because of that, it's really hard to pinpoint what's the likelihood that they're going to like an Elton John song. In particular this one, because this goes back to his earlier years, not the later Elton John. I commend her for being bold with the song choice. Trying to figure out how to compare this against her last performance, right? Mm-hmm. Queen with Bohemian Rhapsody, which again, both amazing performances, but does this song emotionally resonate with people? And if you were to take a look at the box office for both a recent movie that came out, which is the one for Elton John, and another recent movie that came out, which is one for Queen, the one for Queen dominated the box office scene. It basically generated maybe times 5 to times 10 more money than the Elton John movie did.
Right.
And that's my concern, is that Queen has continued to remain relevant over the years, very perennial, while Elton John, while perennial, his music, it's just not as popular as Queen. So my concern here is that with all the people that were mostly touched by Queen, which is a much bigger audience, which a bigger range of fans who would like it, Elton John's music might not be on that level at this point. Yeah, so I just did a quick Google search, and yeah, sure enough, my estimates are pretty close. Rocket Man, which is the Elton John movie, did about $200 million at the box office worldwide. Bohemian Rhapsody, about $1 billion. Yeah, just to give you a frame of reference, $1 billion is about what Marvel makes with Avengers movies and their box office hits. That's how big Queen was. And that's why when I take a look at the Google Trends data after Angelina Jordan performed that song from Queen, she skyrocketed to the top. She was by far generating more buzz than any of the other acts till now.
I see.
Made the perfect song choice.
Mature.
So my point here is that independent of the fact that she sang it really well, independent that the presentation was amazing, love her inflections, love her rendition of this, the song choice is definitely not as popular as the initial one.
Now, again, who chose this song? Is it...
Oh, wait, you want to go open up those can of yellow worms, huh? Well, we now know that it's not as simple as the artist picks it, right? Because we have heard, every artist that goes on America's Got Talent, and I've been making a lot of videos about this recently, about how the producers really have a heavy hand in terms of what happens with song choice. Not just song choice, but literally acts, magicians, comedy, what they say, everything. So for one of the other singers, that person was told to come back with a list of 10 different songs.
Right.
And the producers will pick, this is the one you're going to do. The producers have basically picked it. But yeah, they have to pick from a stable of things that the artist really wants to do. I guess you could say that the artist could say, well, no, I really want to do this. But from my understanding, most people don't actually end up with that type of situation. The producers can threaten you in ways that make it feel like, if you don't do it, you may not make it. Like if they literally just said that, are you gonna go against their word?
Right.
Exactly. Now, just how much of a say does Angelina have in song choice? So as I'm editing this video, I'm actually watching another video and we're reacting to it from Marcelito, who has actually posted a video on his own personal site talking about his plans and what he's going to sing next. I'm going to actually post that reaction up separately as well. It's in Tagalog, so I had to really rely on my wife to translate that into English. But in short, he seems to be dropping very clear hints that the song choice for the finals was really not in his hands. And I'm beginning to wonder how much of this song choice here for Goodbye Yellow Brick Road was in Angelina's hands as well. She may have given the top 10 list of songs that she wants to sing to America's Got Talent, but ultimately this final choice may not have been hers. Now I want to add a little bit of details in terms of why I think this particular song choice is going to be really challenging for her to be able to pull off a big victory here on the Champions Edition. And this is the kind of feedback I've generally given in the past when it comes to singers. When you're in the finals, you really have to have a song that goes big. Ultimately, this type of show has already set expectations in terms of what people expect in a grand finale. You really need to pick a song that starts off very intimate to really showcase who you are as a person. And then within a 2-minute period, switch it up to go really big. You need to fill up that stage. I'm talking like circus animals, explosives, lights, sounds, everything like that. And you know, it's no wonder people expect that because they're constantly touting on the show how not only will you win $1 million, but you will get your own show in Vegas. And if you know anything about Vegas, it's all about the glitz and glamour. So people already have in their minds, that's what they think a winning act is all about. So it does bring up an interesting question here of, well, who is actually making this song choice for the finals? Why are they making her sing a much more intimate song? A song that arguably actually isn't as big as Queen's song, doesn't have the emotional payoff where a big crescendo happens, and isn't likely to get the gears turning in the superfans who are voting, thinking, yeah, I could see this act on Vegas. That's my concern with this particular performance. It has nothing to do with whether or not she delivered, which she absolutely did. You have to admit, the way she sings it so delicately, my God, my God. Oh boy. I tell you, there's so many more thoughts I actually want to share about this particular performance with Angelina in light of the fact that we know this year on America's Got Talent Champions, there's been a lot of brouhaha about rights issues. I actually made a video about that to try to address some of the concerns of why Angelina's first video, where she performed Bohemian Rhapsody, is no longer online. It's no longer on AGT's website. I'm actually thinking of making a second video that goes into a much more deeper detail regarding a rights battle that is going on here, because it is a battle, much bigger than you think, and it definitely involves a lot more acts than just Angelina. So you definitely want to subscribe and check that out. That being said, if you actually know the lyrics to the song, it's really, really poignant. And in many ways, it's a slap into the face of show business. I'm gonna read a couple of excerpts here for you. If you can read it in between the lines, very powerful statement about how to remain independent in a music world where your rights are constantly being taken away from you. You know you can't hold me forever. I didn't sign up with you. I'm not a present for your friends to open. ... I mean, if you kind of equate this to how the music industry makes these artists sign completely ridiculous one-sided contracts for long periods of time, signing over their rights to not only their music, but for something like AGT, signing over your rights to perform, model, act, dance, just about anything. It also really poignant considering the fact that if you sign an AGT contract, you're also in many ways signing into a lot of other contracts that you may not want to, i.e. who represents you for music, like Simon's Music Company. So it's definitely something that I'm noticing the Angelina fans are pointing out in the comments.
You know you can hold me forever. I didn't sign up with you. I'm not a present for your friends to open. This boy's too young to be singing.
Yeah, what a great point of view, John. However, this is so beautiful. I don't care. She is in my heart. I don't want to touch the microphone. Yes, she did great. Oh my God, I love it, I love it, I love it. I'm gonna listen to this again.
I'm gonna listen to it again as well. Like I said, I'm definitely gonna dial it. And yes. I also appreciate the fact that she's given me a chance to break out my one yellow polo shirt that I rarely ever wear.
That's right, and my yellow
Those are my yellow shades.
Oh,
Don't
it's
even
yours.
kid.
Beyond
Wow, listen to that runs.
your